You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Well, you're thinking about going into business. For many of you out there, a franchise is the way to go, but you say, well, I can't afford a McDonald's or a Burger King, and I don't really want to be involved with food. Well, the person you are about to hear from, Jon Ostenson, is an expert in franchises. He has been a franchisor and a franchisee. Jon, you are helping entrepreneurs find the right fit. Appreciate you coming on. So somebody comes into your office and says, I'm looking for a franchise. You represent hundreds of franchisors out there?
Yeah, we work with over 600 different franchise companies across a wide range of industries. In any given time, Kerry, there's probably 50 or 60 that I feel are the best of the best. They're the ones that have the track record, with the leadership team. They've got the financial model that, goes above and beyond checking the boxes. They've got the competitive advantages. And then because we do more deals than anyone else in the country, we also get to see what's resonating with others all around the country and why is it resonating. So we bring all those insights into working with our clients.
So first, I want to ask you, when a client comes in, how do you figure out what's a match, what's going to work for you?
Yeah, we've been doing it long enough. We kind of know those key questions to target in on. And frankly, Kerry, oftentimes, our clients are pretty open-minded. They say, hey, we don't know what we don't know. And so, oftentimes we'll share a copy of our new book, Non-Food Franchising with them, which, spurs a lot of thinking. And I'm happy to share a copy with all of your listeners as well if they come out to our website. But, we ask them some key questions to understand first the role they want to play in the business. Are they looking to be an owner operator, run the day to day, or are they looking to hire a manager and potentially be a semi-passive investor, as we call it? In that case, it's not passive, it's semi-passive. There's still a level of effort that has to go in. But if you're managing a manager, the nice thing about franchising is that franchisor is kind of your partner in a way, that your manager can go to them as a technical resource. They're going to help keep them marching in the right direction. So it really takes some of that burden off of you and allows you to keep focused on your main thing while you get this going on the side. So, understanding that style, understanding within their market where they may see opportunities on the ground or feel that things are saturated. We try to collect that kind of information. But we talk to them about, for instance, we work with a lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers, we share with them case studies of other clients of ours and then kind of see what resonates with them and what they want that role to look like. And, we take it from there.
What kind of success do you have for your clients? What percentage of them succeed? What percentage fail?
Yeah. We've got an outstanding track record. There's only one client we know of that's no longer still in business. And there were some extenuating circumstances around that, which I'm happy to get into. But no, the vast majority of our clients come back to us and buy additional locations, or they come back and refer their brother-in-law, or they come back oftentimes, to buy another opportunity. Some of our clients build up these portfolios where they've got multiple opportunities, and sometimes they're synergistic. Other times they kind of diversify.
So how much can you make in a franchise once it's successful? And how long does it take to make that?
Yeah, of course, it's across the board, but, an example that I oftentimes point to, the one that we did the most deals with last year, it's a gutter business. It's one of those non-sexy, boring businesses, but gutter installs, which is a $6 billion industry, highly fragmented. And when you look at from an all-in investment standpoint, you're right around 200, 225 in this business. That includes your startup costs, your franchise fee, your working capital. But what that is yielding when you look across their franchise system, and I'll again caveat it by saying not everyone's created equal, but the average franchisee in their systems doing 1.7 million in revenue. It was 1.2 million the prior year. So you're seeing some really good system-wide growth, but 1.7 at about a 28, 29% bottom line EBITDA margin. So, call it 600,000. You take a conservative approach to that, let's call it 450. That's on an initial investment of around 200,000. So the returns can get really interesting. Again, it's not passive. You do have to, manage the manager, but we've seen that is, just kind of the profiles of who we've seen getting into the gutter business. We had multiple doctors. We had a Wall Street attorney. We had couple of insurance guys that were brothers. We had corporate executive, all different types of different, setups from their background that don't necessarily translate to the property services space, but they put that owner hat on and said, hey, I see an opportunity out there to go make some money.
Well, I got to see a Wall Street lawyer getting up on the ladder installing gutters, because covering attorney myself, it's got to be hysterical. Most lawyers I know can't even screw in a light bulb.
Well, I think he's probably busy negotiating with his people to go up the ladder for him.
If he's smart, he is, that's for sure. But seriously, so a lawyer goes into the gutter business, and that's he's making money in the gutter.
Exactly. I mean, the jokes are endless, right?
Yeah, he went from Wall Street to the gutter in one step, and now he's making his fortune in the gutter. I mean, it just writes itself here. But in all seriousness, so do you think level of education of your client helps determine their success?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Torque Resources is an exploration company establishing a portfolio of premier copper gold early stage projects in Chile. Torque's management and technical teams have a strong track record of raising capital, discovery, and monetization of exploration successes. The company's Margarita Copper Gold project is located within the prolific coastal Cordillera Belt in Chile, which hosts some of the world's largest and most profitable copper mines. The Margarita project possesses excellent discovery potential for a major copper discovery due to the strength of the alteration system, large-scale magnetic targets, and the presence of copper oxide mineralization. Drilling is anticipated to begin in Q3 of this year. Torque trades in Canada under TORQ and on the OTC under TRBMF. To learn more, go to torqueresources.com. That's torqueresources.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network. The information you need to thrive now more than ever.
So when I was a franchisor and I looked across our sea of owners across North America, our best performers were those to follow the system. And that sounds so cliche, but it's true. And I think when you buy into a franchise, you're going to be able to exercise your creative muscle from time to time. But I think the more you can stay within the lines, the better you're going to do. And, there are times that we have clients that, think they're the smartest guy in the room, and they come in and they start questioning everything the franchisor is doing. Those probably aren't your best franchisees. We also, in turn, we work with a lot of existing business owners that have been there, done that. They say for their next rodeo, they want to go the franchise route because they want to start on third base and have a lot of things already figured out for them. A lot of times that works out great. In some cases, I have to tell them up front, hey, you're too entrepreneurial. You want to put your thumbprints all over it. You would not be a good franchise owner. And so, we do look at kind of that mindset and that approach. I don't know that education level plays in as much. And we have a young guy, I think our youngest client ever, he's 24 years old up in Charlotte, North Carolina, absolutely killing it with a services business. And he doubled the average unit sale in his very first week. And it's been off to the races, come back, bought additional locations. But then we have clients that, I'd say the sweet spot of most of our clients are, kind of mid 30s to mid 50s. That's where we see a lot of people. And, Kerry, I think there's something in all of us that, wants to be an owner. We want to kind of set our own course. And I think COVID's caused a lot of that too. It's kind of brought that to light. People questioning the path they're on. Then you see, more cash on the sidelines than ever before. And only so many good real estate deals to be had. So if you're wanting to do something and diversify outside the market, where do you go? And more people are wising up to business ownership.
I totally understand that. So all the people you've known who succeeded and failed, what do you think is the biggest determinant there?
Yeah, I think, you've got to have some level of effort and grit. Nothing is easy. I won't sugarcoat it, but it is very doable. And on day one what that path to profitability looks like. This is a model that's been proven out in similar markets elsewhere. So I think coming in, again, being willing to follow the system and then apply the effort to it. I think, coupled with that, the people that do the best are the ones that are, attract talent. There's someone that people want to work for. They're likable. And they're also willing to make the tough call. If you've got someone that, needs to be off the team for whatever reason, make that tough call. Don't sit around and wait on it. So I'd say, those combinations, that where we see possible challenges, and again, I go back to that one client of ours where it did not work out. He lived 3 hours outside his market. That's not insurmountable, but his challenge was he didn't have anyone on the ground in the market, and that made it tough. He just hired some guy, didn't have any friends and family, no grassroots support that I think could have helped him in that space. It was also in the mosquito industry, which, lesson to us, Kerry, candidly, I think that's a very competitive space.
Yeah.
And even though this is a good business that he bought into, you already have the entry of big brands in that space, and they're all competing on price with very little differentiation. So as a result, that was a little bit of a learning to us where we said, hey, that's probably not the best space to get into. Similar to how I don't think that food is the easiest way to make money. There are other avenues.
Well, that would bug the hell out of me. I'm really with it with the jokes now. But seriously, so financing a franchise, 125 to 300 all in. How readily available is financing these days?
Yeah, probably a third of our clients. So, we're doing $1 million placements all the time, but the majority right now are somewhere between 125 and 300 all in investment, including working capital. About a third of our clients are using cash. About a third are using cash plus an SBA loan. That's very readily available. We have some great partners that work in SBA lending. And then some clients of ours will use a retirement plan and a 401k or IRA from a previous employer. There's ways of rolling into that without the tax consequences, or they'll use a HELOC. And so a lot of different avenues to fund the business. But again, when you look at what's interesting to people these days, you and I were talking before the show, but it's the boring, non-sexy businesses. It's these service type businesses, whether it be gutters or insulation or dumpsters or concrete paving, all different walks of life getting involved in these. And those are oftentimes ones that have more of a variable cost nature to them, where you don't have that customer facing retail build out. And therefore you're able to get it off the ground, and then kind of, your expenses grow as you scale the business, but you're not incurring them all on day one. But we're still doing plenty of oil changes, laundromats and businesses like that. That are heavier CapEx, but we've definitely seen a gravitation towards the property services or things like kids, pets, businesses supporting your aging parents, things that people will spend on regardless of the economy.
All right. Well, you're giving us a lot to think over here. And I guess the main question is, how do you get in contact with Jon? How do you connect Jon on the internet? Where do we find you?
Yeah, connect with us on LinkedIn, but then come out to our website, franbridgeconsulting.com. If you sign up for our monthly newsletter, where we put out some great content, we'll also have our assistant reach out and share a copy of our book with you. Our new book, Non-Food Franchising. It came out a few months ago, and would love to give a free digital copy, either audio or downloadable PDF to any of your listeners. Or if you go out to Amazon, you can also purchase the book, and 100% of profits go to charity. So pick your avenue.
Excellent. All right. We really appreciate you coming on, Jon. Got a question for Jon? You can always shoot me an email. Question for me as well, kl@kerrylutz.com. Make sure you go to the site, financialsurvivalnetwork.com, and check out our latest offerings and sign up for your free newsletter. And think about that franchise, because if you're a person that needs to follow precise directions and not the uber entrepreneur that I've often found myself to be throughout life, then franchising is definitely a good way to go. And Jon, thanks for coming on, and we'll definitely talk to you again.
Thanks for having me, Kerry. Enjoyed the conversation.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.